私はいつまで嘘をつき続けるのだろう。
Let's start the list with Nier Automata. Well, obviously, this property was at first a popular video game, and now due to the success of the title, we get an anime adaptation. Well, who am I kidding? The reason we get a show of Nier Automata is because of the waifu, 2B. Ever since the release of the video game, she has been a dominant waifu online, and gamers and anime heads have been staring at her perfect white ass and beautiful miniskirt that gets blown into the wind. There are plenty of female cosplayers doing her justice, not to mention only fangirls who make dirty moves while wearing a blindfold and her costume. Maybe I'm navigating the wrong side of the internet a bit too often for more health, yeah. But as I can assess, it's primarily the fan service and the appeal of a blind silent woman which makes the story interesting and exciting for the fans. I tried to play the game on my PlayStation, but I kinda got bored with its niche mechanics and overall platforming. It's a good game, not exactly fun enough for me to keep playing. Maybe it's kinda boring as well, maybe I'm a bit harsh. It's just, I see no innovation or excitement or captivating ideas besides the typical post-apocalyptic Nazi world I'm so fond of. For the glory of the mankind. Yeah, sounds like a brainwashed sentence to enslave a controlled population and also commit atrocities in the name of the higher good. The camera is totally pending on 2B's ass, which is great. I like seeing penny shots. It's obvious the show has to rely on her beautiful white body to draw the audience. These girls look like sexy hookers, also nuns, and A2 is also an abused, exposed girl with super strength. Not to mention we also get little boys in short pants. Well, as much as I like the lolly aspect of the industry, the traps and boys are severe letdown, appealing to a certain demographic I don't want to mention or even deal with. Damachi Season 4 Part 2. Now maybe over this part stuff and needless seasons like Attack on Titan or My Hero Academia, Damachi also suffers from the overlord symptom of having so many damn secondary characters take so much screen time. This kinda becomes boring and unfocused. At least here the secondary characters are mostly hot, beautiful young ladies, and not some hybrid animals or monsters. For the most part, yeah, I like the Aisha chick, the dark skinned girl with a sword. She's sexy and provocative, also strong enough to be useful in most combat situations. I usually don't like dark-skinned women because I prefer white waifus. However, there are some exceptions like Yorichi from Bleach, who is in my opinion even hotter than Ragiko due to her naughtiness and well, being naked all the time. Yeah, usually dark-skinned girls are represented as hoes or easy women. Even Damachi had a whole harem of sluts arc when they were like dark-skinned and even the goddess using her body for favor and power. Now Freya is also a hoe, however has way more class and does not own a red light district or hookers are her familia. Yeah, the first episode of part 2 is fun enough. Didn't watch part 1, so I'm a bit surprised by the amount of action. Still, Desha girl is strong and kinda takes the spotlight with her shonen monologue and brave scream of combat. I much prefer the Ice Wallenstein fight from Sword of Karya, where she's leveled up to 5 and single-handedly defeats a boss. It was an impactful moment and a spectacle which even Bell ain't worthy to perform. I like the secondary characters in this franchise, especially the Liberian / secretary elf with the glasses. Don't know her name cause so much stuff to do in my life and I have way too much anime to watch. Yeah, I guess how much is not one of my priorities, however I do recognize its popularity. Don't Toy With Me is Nagatoro. Well, I guess it's as good of a comedy as you can get. I really enjoyed the first season. It was a lot of fun to see a dark-skinned gal seduce a nerd for most of the screen time. Nagatoro is a weird rifle. She acts like white trash, and her friends are all the gal whore archetype. Yet these girls are still the popular type and enjoy beauty and charisma, not to mention healthy, attractive bodies. The second class president has the best boobs of them all.
I liberate myself and take to the great outdoors. I find it refreshes both mind and body.
She's like a Seko Bushima ripoff, not to mention her dominant and yet loose personality. She's naughty in her indifferent, dorky kind of way, also possesses a great rockstar body, with good-looking hips and some big titties, to boost her sex appeal. Not like Ursa Scarlet, but a bit more educated and mean. Ursa is often naked and different of her surroundings, just like how open towards body exposure the class president is, but on all sorts of modeling and questionable portraits. Second Attack is a catchy yet fitting tune for the name of that series. The first episode is kind of fun to see how the relationships improved and we're actually making progress. The main character is even trying to invite Nagatoro to a date and uses his talents to draw to further press his advantage of wooing her and even further the relationship. I really enjoyed the witty scenarios on how strange the whole love story feels. The comedy is more dominant as a romance, as there is a bunch of loosely connected sketches.
Stop looking at me like that! Just put my tights on, I'm begging you! Way too high! I can take over from here, thank you very much!
And a standard premise of a teenage love. The execution is what makes this show stand out, and I gotta admit I like it even more than Usugi-chan wants to hang out. There's more geniality and innovation here. It's pretty interesting to see a mean aggressive girl try to hit on an introvert artist. These types are opposite to each other, and yet this is what makes them complementary in a strange mixture of pressure, verbal abuse, and overall skin exposure. Yeah, Nagatoro likes to show off her assets and is rather proud and satisfied with her feminine allure. Most incidents are accidental, which emphasizes their insecurities and innocence.
Fine, well if you're so confident, why don't we crack open that book and have ourselves a little role play?
Fine.
These are teenagers. No matter how forward or dominant these girls are, there will always be some clumsiness in her movements and attempts at romance. Also, the best scenes of this anime is when Nagatoro gets jealous of or protective of her boyfriend. She turns into a cat or even a Super Saiyan, when she sees her territory is in danger or falling into competitive hands. Well, for the second season, I didn't review the first one. I was a bit of a mediocre ripoff. However, I can see it's fun if you like a lot of girls as the main characters. Still have to review Strike Witches and Azure Lane before I get to both three though, so yeah, it's gonna take a while. Let's not to mention the isekai of this season. When is this trend finally gonna fall out of favor? Well, Farming Another World is a rather mediocre show with a standard main character and a simplistic premise. This type of shows usually either about the salvation of the whole kingdom or some slacker who wants to hide and enjoy a peaceful life, surrounded by friends and a lot of comfort. Well, the show I consider mediocre, and the girl he makes is cute and interesting, but nowhere near as memorable or sexy enough. to save the show from the mediocrity it presents. Reborn the master old, oh, whatever the fuck. All wizard man gets to be inside of a young teenage girls. Okay, maybe that title sucks more. There's this old man who gets reincarnated as a teenage girl. Okay. Yeah, this type of anime with girls only main cast, but the main chick is actually an old man in disguise. Well, I guess I've seen worse. The girls are fun and seem interesting enough for me to fantasize about. However, the story is so lame and pointless, on par with other isekai. Think about it. You have a bunch of teenager girls. There's not a fan service to be had. Yet so little is being presented or delivered. So, yeah, missed opportunity. Saving 80,000 gold in other world. Well, this one is actually pretty interesting. Kinda like the Killing Slam for 300 years. The girl is fun and standard main character-ish, with a stable personality, some clumsiness, and a lot of courage. Like how she nearly died by kicking a guy in the balls. Practically committed suicide by pushing herself. And she has a very practical view of the world, wanted to have an easy life and early retirement. Also, always remember the advice of her weird-ass dorky brother.